Hello everyone, I'm your hostess with the mostest, 8 Second Gaming, and in today's video we're going to be taking a look at how to win games even if you're down a player. Now I see a lot of people talking across multiple different social media platforms and comment sections, just on Twitter threads, basically everywhere people can talk. They're talking about how it's impossible to win games if you're down a player. They think it's just not a thing that you can do, but it's actually something that you can really do. So we're going to be taking a look at this game and kind of breaking that down. But if you guys like these styles of videos where we dive deep into gameplay, show you guys kind of different play styles and where you can really fix your own gameplays, you need to check out the GameLeap website. Over there we have Predator level coaches like myself creating all of these informative guides so you can be the best Apex player you could possibly be. So if you guys really want to start climbing to Diamond, Masters, or even Predator, click the link in the description, get yourself a membership right now and start climbing. Now in this video I want to highlight two main points, and one of those is of course that you can still win the game while being down a teammate, but two is that you can bounce back from a lot of stuff. In this game, we have two big miscommunications that could have cost us the game. And sometimes a lot of players would just roll over if they have these miscommunications, they die, they give up, and that can lose you a bunch of RP. That's not always the case. You can still come back from even having miscommunications. So I want to highlight these real quick. The first big miscommunication that we have comes right away. Now my drone was broken right here, so I couldn't scout out for my team. So my Wraith was playing over here and looking over this way because we were trying to see if this spot was playable. Now because of that, she did take some storm damage while she was coming back to us to Valcult. And while she took some damage, I did want her to heal up because you can still get beamed out of the air while in a Valkyrie ult. You're not 100% safe. So I did say give her some time to heal up. But my other teammate, the Valkyrie, didn't really hear that and just kind of started the ult right away once the Wraith got on. So because of that, my Wraith dropped off to try to heal. My Valkyrie immediately started the ultimate and we were ending up leaving our Wraith behind. Now, that is a huge issue for a lot of people. People would think that the game is over, they have some issues because of that, but that's not the case. You can still win games while being down a player, and we will get to that in a second. But here is the second main thing that I want to talk about. This is the second big miscommunication that we had. Now, we were trying to play out here. We wanted to see if there was like head glitches, anything like that, but I don't really like these spots most of the time. They're easy to get naded out on if your team just isn't in the best positions, and they're hard to hold as two-mans. So I was saying that we should play these buildings as a better spot. They can get naded out, but there's a lot more options to play as a two-man in those, and that is another miscommunication because my teammate once again just had his own idea in his head. So I dropped straight down going for these houses because that's what I have in my head, but my teammate goes out on the edge because that's what he has in his head. Now we were on Discord, we were in comms, but it was just kind of miscommunications, us not really talking to each other as well as we should have. But now here, when this team starts pushing me, I'm caught between a rock and a hard place. Now there's a team on the building that's looking at me, so they're looking right here. There's a team over here that's pushing this building and they want these spots. They're gonna fight me no matter what. So I have two options right now, and this is something you guys need to pay attention to. I can either stay here, try to get as much damage as I can, wait for my Wraith to wrap around here and help me fight this team as a two-man, or I can take the safer option and try to get to my teammate over here. Now, I might die while crossing, but I still have my knockdown shield, I can crawl, I can potentially get to a safe spot and be perfectly fine. Now, both options could work, depending on how much damage I get out on the team that's pushing me. My Wraith could come for cleanup kills, my Valkyrie could come and support us, but the team that's on this building might just push into this fight because it's a free third party. So you don't really want to commit to fights right now. So because of that, I take the safer option to just back out and go to my teammate. Now, thankfully, this team was missing a lot of shots and they weren't really able to stop me from getting over here. So now that I'm over here, there is a few issues that teams would have. One is a lot of players would just try to stay as quiet as they possibly can, just kind of huddle up in these little corners here and make sure that they aren't really seen so that teams can't poke them out. But that isn't what you need to be doing in these situations. You still need to be playing big enough that your team doesn't get pressured, because there was a team on this building and they do happen to wrap over here to try to take our spot. We can't really engage on them fully because once again, there is a team on this building that was playing Revenant. If we were to get into a huge fight, they would just rev ult, push that immediately, and we would die. So we have to be showing enough presence so that teams don't push us, but not enough so that we would just get rev pushed immediately and die because of that. So with that, there's basically one main option for us, and that is just to basically sit and poke and pressure teams, but not over engage them. There's a fine line between over engaging and just poking. Like right now, like I send some shots at that team to remind them that we're here. My teammate is pressuring this team over here. So we're just playing these corners and we're not really looking to wide swing on them. If we get cracked, we're throwing grenades out. We're throwing just kind of stuff at them to make sure that they know that we are still good enough to fight. And I don't think that this team really wanted to ascend on us either, because they knew that that team on the building would push them as well. So we are in a bit of a better spot. So right here, when the ring closes, we are in an amazing position because we have such a good spot in zone. We have a nice head glitch and the zone is ending right in front of us. So right now we don't have to do a whole lot. We just send some shots out, make sure the teams know that we are still here, and make sure that they do not push us. A lot of people would kind of mess this up because they would be trying to like overly attack people, and right now my teammate is out of shields. So I drop some, but as I drop that, I noticed that the team pops their Revenant ult, and when they rev ult, they run at this Rampart team. So if you see a team committing on each other, you need to be getting out as much damage as you can to kind of disrupt them as much as possible. So I'm sending out shots, I end up knocking a Rampart, I end up getting the kill for that Rampart, but that team is still in a bad situation because they're over there without a whole lot of abilities now. So we just basically once again show presence and make sure that they don't push us, because there's still 4 squads left. So that team lost a Rampart but nobody else. And then a Gibraltar did get thirsted, and then the Valkyrie died. So right now they are down a lot of players and they end up getting wiped. But because that Rev team pushed off their building, the team that was playing out here ended up pushing into it as well, into their building, because once they get sent back to the Rev totem, or if they did get sent back to the Rev totem, they would be free kills. So that team pushed over here and now they're fighting. And this is where people would get overly excited. They would say, hey, there's 3 knocks right now. We need to immediately send into that building. They would just run straight at that and just throw themselves into the fight. But that's not what you need to be doing. You need to play things smart. You're still down a man. So I take a position, I throw my drone out, and I want to disrupt these teams as much as I can. So I go in for the EMP so that my teammate can get better positioning on them and so that I can disrupt this fight as much as possible. As soon as I EMP, they do finish that fight, but there was still a down. So we are still in a good position because now it is a 2v2. So once we're on this building, we're basically just holding the choke points because we don't want to let them get out of the building for free. So we're looking for angles, we're looking for anything that we could possibly do to make this team's life as miserable as possible. And once they kind of commit to going outside, we do get the thirst to make sure that they can't give information. But as soon as they're committing to going outside, we want to fight them as soon as possible because we don't want to let them go back inside and get armor swaps or kind of reset. So once this Valkyrie's outside and shooting my teammate, I am able to get one nice massive pump off, but then I just completely whiff everything else. And then I get a nice spray on the Bloodhound to get him low. I thought I was behind this Valkyrie's knockdown shield, but apparently I wasn't. But my teammate was able to come up behind the Bloodhound and get a nice knock to end the game and make us the champions of the arena. So I just wanted to show you guys that, like, with smart positioning and with the right playstyle, you can still win games while being down. There's a few things that you guys can really take from these games to mix up your playstyle to win while being down and still climb no matter what the situation is. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys want to see more stuff like this, come check out one of my streams sometime over on Twitch TV/8secondgaming. But if you guys like these YouTube videos, don't forget to smash that like and subscribe button to stay up to date with the latest and greatest Apex Legends tips, tricks, and news. Thank you all for watching. Once again, I'm 8secondgaming, and I will see you in the next one.